Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, we'll be taking an in-depth look into the 2016 Nissan Frontier Pro-4X Crew Cab. Now, until recently, there hasn't been much changing in the mid-size truck segment until we had the recent introduction of the Chevrolet Colorado, the GMC Canyon, and now the Toyota Tacoma. The Frontier, this generation, has been around basically since the mid-2000s, so it's not as up-to-date as the competition when it comes to like the interior and all that kind of stuff, but it's still a very nice and capable truck that definitely deserves your attention. We've taken it out to the Uwharrie National Forest in North Carolina to really experience this vehicle fully, so as always, this will be an in-depth review of the Frontier. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, go over the performance data, take it on a thorough road test both on and off the road, and show you many of the unique aspects throughout the interior as well as exterior.
So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in, start it up, let it run. For 2016, Nissan's added 3 new color options to the Frontier's palette, one of which, seen on our tester, is my personal favorite, a metallic hue known as forged copper. Inside, there's graphite leather upholstery with white accent stitching available with the Pro-4X luxury package. We'll discuss more detailed pricing and options later in the video. The Frontier features engine speed sensitive rack and pinion steering with hydraulic power assistance. In this example, it's routed through a 3-spoke leather wrapped multifunction steering wheel with perforations across the sides and grip ulcers at 10 and 2. With an overall ratio of 20.4 to 1, the steering is a touch slower than the electrically assisted setup on the Colorado and Canyon, but it offers excellent feedback relative to the terrain you're driving on. However, it's not the easiest thing to maneuver when it comes to 3-point and tight turns with its wide 43-foot turning diameter. It takes 3.6 turns of the steering wheel to lock. Specs aside, I did like the Frontier's setup. From the trucks I've driven, it's what I would expect. The steering resistance is on the heavier side, lending to a feeling of confidence and control. It does its job well enough for the application. Currently, only the General Motors trucks use electric steering, as the 2016 Tacoma also soldiers on with a hydraulic setup. I also really like the seating position. There's excellent visibility all the way around, and being that the Frontier is smaller than its newer competitors, it also feels more compact. In other words, it's easy to tell where your body lines are when parking or navigating tighter areas. The 5-speed electronically controlled automatic transmission equipped on our tester is an optional feature available on all Frontiers. However, a 5-speed manual is available on the entry-level 4-cylinder King cabs alongside a 6-speed manual on select V6 crew cabs, including the Pro-4X. All transmissions are console mounted. The selector, at least in this example, is wrapped in leather with white stitching. This is one area where the Frontier can definitely improve. There's nothing wrong with the transmission as it is, in fact it drives quite well, but with newer 6, 7, and 8-speed automatics out there, a more modern gearbox will likely do wonders for overall performance and fuel economy. The automatic features manual gear selection, which can be used in a variety of ways, whether it be added traction in slippery scenarios or engine braking when traveling down steep grades. When pairing the automatic with the V6, Nissan also adds hill start assist and hill descent control. The latter is engaged manually by a button on the left-hand side of the dash. It works in both forward and reverse, but only when you're in 4 high or 4 low. When hill descent control is active, you're able to travel at speeds of up to 21 miles an hour in 4 high and 15 miles an hour in 4 low. 4-wheel drive is controlled electronically via the shift-on-the-fly dial in the center stack and features a part-time transfer case. Hill Start Assist, like the name suggests, works in the background, holding the truck for a few seconds when you release the brake after stopping on an incline, preventing rearward rolling, regardless of whether you're in 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. It's especially helpful in low-speed off-roading. A brake-based limited slip system is also standard on all Frontiers to manage the transfer of torque between wheels, but we'll discuss that more later in the video. On the Pro-4X, you gain an electronic locking rear differential that, when engaged by a button in the center stack, will equally distribute power between each rear wheel.
So let's go and flip on the automatic headlamps, front fog lamps, as well as the hazards. The driver's side window is automatic down. Now let's go and check out the exterior.
When the current generation Frontier debuted for 2005, it was an excellent choice in the mid-size truck segment. Representing a far superior product compared to its predecessor, the Frontier was larger, more capable, and delivered improved driving dynamics. It was also available with what Nissan claimed was the most powerful V6 engine available in any pickup at the time. As I've experienced, the V6 still offers great performance for the class. We'll be diving deeper into performance specifications and fuel economy though later in the video. In many ways, the Frontier is still well worth a look in comparison if you're shopping in this segment. Aside from a cosmetic refresh back in 2009 amongst other equipment updates in the following years, the Frontier has continued largely unchanged for 2016. On one side of the equation, the phrase, "if it ain't broke, don't fix it," comes to mind when I think of the Frontier. To a degree, it also makes sense because the Frontier always has, at least to my knowledge, been a solid and capable little truck. However, as far as 2016 standards are concerned, the overall design and quality of materials have become outdated, especially when pitted against the freshly redesigned competition. The new Chevrolet Colorado and GMC Canyon were launched last year after a 3-year hiatus. Toyota followed up with the new Tacoma for 2016. Keeping this in mind, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that we would see Nissan's next generation offering debuting in the near future. The Frontier's fully boxed all-steel frame is based on the F-Alpha platform that underpins the full-size Titan. Looking back, this led to a truck that was larger and more capable than its predecessor. The wheelbase grew in length by 9.8 inches, while overall length grew by 2.6 inches and 5.6 inches between the King Cab and Crew Cab respectively. I really like the general size of the truck. It's a bit smaller than the Colorado Canyon twins and the Tacoma. Like you would expect, the Frontier is available in a variety of shapes, sizes, and equipment. Pricing starts out at $18,290 for a base Frontier S King Cab with a 4-cylinder and manual transmission. There's two body styles in general, an extended cab, also known as the King Cab, and the Crew Cab, which is a true 4-door with practical rear seats. Also, like the competition, the Crew Cab is available with a long bed for greater hauling ability. The Pro-4X is geared more towards the off-roading enthusiast and features a number of unique styling and equipment updates to make it look and perform the part. Styling-wise, the Pro-4X features a satin chrome grille in front, body-colored bumpers, side view mirrors, door handles, and fog lamps, not to mention unique decals. Our tester goes one step further and features the Pro-4X Luxury Package. Most of the added features lie within the interior, but on the outside you get a power sunroof and a roof rack with crossbars that can support up to 125 pounds. Even though it's not as polished and up-to-date as the new competition, I love how aggressive and purposeful it appears. It sits up tall with very short overhangs, especially in front. The stamped steel fender arches are a nice touch. As equipped, this example including the luxury package and carpeted floor mats, stickers for $36,025 after a $900 destination and handling fee. That's roughly the same price of an SL, making the Pro-4X quite an attractive value considering the added capability and aggressive styling that you get. On the tailgate, there's what looks like a little spoiler. If need be, the tailgate is also removable and lockable. In the bed, you'll find the Frontier's Utilitrack system, similar to the setup used in the Titan. It is composed of 5 special C cross-section rails mounted in the bed. There's 2 channels in the bed floor, one in each of the bed side rails and one at the bed header panel. The little utility cleats, each rated to hold 200 pounds, can be repositioned to any of the channels, allowing you greater flexibility when it comes to securing a variety of cargo sizes. Of course, Nissan offers a ton of extra accessories that utilize the channel system. Included on the Pro-4X and available in other models is a factory spray-in bed liner. If you need some additional space for the Crew Cab models, the long bed option increases bed length from 59.5 inches to 73.3 inches, while maintaining the same width and 18-inch depth as the standard bed. Width ranges between 44.4, 61.4, and 58.8 inches based on whether you're measuring between the wheel wells, the C channels, or the tailgate respectively. Total volume for the standard bed is 27.1 cubic feet, while the long bed swells to 33.5 cubic feet. Not the largest in the segment, but definitely practical. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the Frontier. While it's long due for a replacement, it's immensely fun to take off-road and delivers refined handling, excellent off-road ability, and potent performance for the class. The Pro-4X comes with its own wheel and tire package consisting of 16 by 7 inch off-road style aluminum alloy wheels with painted and machined faces. They're wrapped in meaty 265/75 all-terrain tires that are able to hold a little over 0.7 g of lateral acceleration, pretty much on par with the class. The brakes consist of 4-wheel internally ventilated discs. Up front, they're 11.7 inches in diameter and are clamped down by 2 piston calipers. The 11.3 inch rear discs are paired with single piston calipers. Electronic brake force distribution, stability control, and 4-wheel ABS come standard. With this setup, the Pro-4X is estimated to stop from 60 miles an hour in between 135 and 140 feet. The brake pedal is good feel and was easy to modulate down steeper grades. All Frontiers feature an independent all-steel double wishbone front suspension with a 34mm stabilizer bar and a solid axle rear suspension with multi-leaf springs. A Dana 44 rear axle is standard on the Pro-4X and Desert Runner, regardless of the transmission. Otherwise, the Dana 44 is added only on Frontiers equipped with a manual transmission. 4x4 models have a minimum of 8.9 inches of ground clearance and a breakover angle of around 20.5 degrees. The Pro-4X also has the best approach and departure angles out of the entire Frontier lineup, 32.6 and 23.3 degrees respectively, significantly greater than the Colorado and Canyon, leading to superior clearance when off-roading. The ride quality is surprisingly good for a pickup both on and off the road, leading to a sure-footed feeling on loose gravel and rocky terrain without a significant amount of road noise typically associated with larger off-road tires. The structure felt pretty solid and well composed in general. Other goodies included on the Pro-4X include Bilstein high-pressure monotube shock absorbers, skid plates on the fuel tank, oil pan and transfer case, and an electronic rear differential locker with a brake-based 4-wheel limited slip system. The latter mimics the action of a traditional limited slip differential by applying the brake to an unloaded wheel, essentially directing torque to the driven wheel. On 4x4 models, this system, which Nissan calls Active Brake Limited Slip, or ABLS, works at the front and the rear. Two-wheel drive models only use ABLS at the rear. Towing and payload ratings vary between models, body configurations, and of course, powertrains. The Frontier Pro-4X can tow up to 6,100 pounds and haul a maximum payload of 1,188 pounds. Our tester has an overall length of 205.5 inches with a width of 72.8 inches and a height with the roof rack of 73.9 inches. The standard wheelbase is 125.9 inches, while curb weight is 4,561 pounds with the automatic transmission. 56% of that weight rides over the front. The Frontier continues to be offered with your choice of 2 power plants dependent on the model. They include a standard 2.5-liter inline 4-cylinder that powers the base King Cab 2-wheel drive model and our tester's VQ40 all-aluminum 4-liter V6. The 4-cylinder develops 152 horsepower and 171 pound-feet of torque. The V6 first debuted back in 2005 when the current generation Frontier was launched. It utilizes dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, continuous variable valve timing on the intake side, a variable length induction system, and sequential multi-port fuel injection. The compression ratio is rated at 9.7 to 1, while maximum engine speed is 6,000 RPM. Amongst the many improvements over its predecessor's 3.3-liter V6, the VQ40 also uses a forged crankshaft, a composite intake manifold, Teflon-coated pistons, a digital knot control system, and a cross-flow engine coolant pattern. It develops a healthy 261 horsepower at 5,600 RPM and 281 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. Which should allow the Frontier to accelerate to 60 miles an hour in about 7.5 seconds, give or take a few tenths. I'd still consider that to be very competitive in today's market. Its torque rating is class-leading. The Tacoma's optional 3.5-liter V6 puts out 278 horsepower but 265 pound-feet of torque. With 305 horsepower, the Colorado and Canyon's optional 3.6-liter V6 is the horsepower king, while torque comes in at 269 pound-feet. The Frontier's NVH levels, being this gen was developed over a decade ago, aren't quite up to 2016 standards, but they're still pretty good overall. I thought the Colorado and Canyon felt a bit more refined, almost car-like. That being said, I did like the Frontier's throatier engine note. The VQ40 delivers power smoothly and responsively. All in all, it's still a great drive. It may not have the power of the newer trucks, but the added torque certainly comes in handy. It was always able to carry itself through mud and over rocks without hesitation. Although the competition will likely deliver better fuel economy overall, as the Frontier's V6 is rated between 15 miles to a gallon in the city and 21 on the highway, achieving an average of 17 miles to a gallon for a Pro-4X equipped with the automatic transmission. It runs on regular gasoline and carries a 21.1 gallon tank. The interior emulates the Frontier's tough and rugged demeanor with an overall layout and feel that's decidedly utilitarian and highly functional. However, this is perhaps the biggest downside of the Frontier in general, as the interior is deeply rooted in the mid-2000s. While I wouldn't expect there to be that much soft material in a truck like this, the plastics and finishings aren't as high quality as the materials used in the new competitors. Despite this, the build quality and fitment of components is superb. The doors close with a solid yet soft thud, and I never noticed any sort of creaks or rattles throughout my week of driving. There's also a bunch of great features included on the Pro-4X, such as standard high-quality cloth upholstery, heated front seats, and dual-zone climate control. Our tester is loaded to the gills with the Pro-4X luxury package. With that, you receive leather seating surfaces with perforated sections and Pro-4X embroidery. There's also a touch of leather on the door panels, also accented with white stitching, along with an 8-way power driver's seat, 4-way power passenger seat, dual heated side view mirrors, a folding armrest for the rear seat, and more. I've driven a lot of Frontiers over the years, but one thing I've always thought is they had great seats. No matter if it's cloth or leather, they have a lot of padding and a surprising amount of lateral support, very comfortable on longer trips. It's easy to find a comfortable seating position, nothing too complicated about it. There's a manual tilting steering wheel, but no telescoping feature. On upper trim levels like this Pro-4X, manual lumbar adjustment is included on the driver's seat. Both the seatbelts and headrests are adjustable for extra comfort, while the headrests are tilted forward just a little bit to help reduce the potential of whiplash in the event of an accident. Speaking of safety, there's airbags throughout, including dual front airbags, seat-mounted side airbags, and side curtain airbags. Like I said, the steering wheel is manual tilting only, and on the left-hand side of the dash you have your power mirrors, a cargo lamp for the bed out back, and activation of your downhill assist. Your power windows and locks are located on the door panels. Up top, a sunroof is standard on the Pro-4X luxury package.
So now let's go ahead and see how she sounds, both sitting still and on the road. So now let's go ahead and shut her up and check out the interior features.
With the Pro-4X crew cab, you get a 10-speaker Rockford Fosgate audio system with a rear-mounted subwoofer. It sounds incredible, and it's all routed through a 5-inch color touchscreen display with an in-dash CD player, SD card slot, and satellite navigation. Coming down the center stack, you have a storage tray right up top, and beneath the infotainment system, at least for the Pro-4X, you have a standard dual-zone electronic automatic climate control system. Temperature located on either side, fan speed in the middle, a little bit of chrome detailing, front and rear defrost, different zones, recycling, and one-touch automatic. Up top, there's side curtain airbags, grip handles mounted on the pillars, and padded visors. The visors also feature vanity mirrors. Up top, you have an auto-dimming rearview mirror with compass and garage home link, and in the top stack here, you have your Bluetooth microphones, reading lamps, padded sunglass container, as well as the controls for the fully automatic sunroof. Down in the very bottom, like I talked about earlier, you have your selectable 4-wheel drive, 2-stage heated seats for both of the front occupants in this model, traction control, turning off your rear parking sensors, as well as activating your lock and rear differential. You also have a small storage tray just ahead of the gear selector, as well as to the left. Simple mechanical parking brake and 2 cup holders. You can also remove these liners if you wanted to put something bigger in there. The center console has some soft rubberized texture on top and it has a pretty decent amount of space. There's an auxiliary port, USB port for like iPod and media integration, a 12-volt power outlet, and some additional storage, chain storage, and it goes down quite a bit. As far as the steering wheel, on the left-hand side you have your radio controls and hands-free telephone. To the right-hand side is your cruise control. Right back behind here is your intermittent wipers. To the left-hand side is your lighting and turn signals. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and shut her down. Now we'll check out backseat space and amenities. Alright, climbing into the back, with the taller ride height like I talked about earlier, there's pillar-mounted grip handles to make ingress and egress a little bit easier. Being that the Frontier is a smaller truck, and I actually think it's a little bit smaller than the new Colorado and Canyon I drove not too long ago, but if you're around 6 feet and over, you might want to tuck your head in when you're climbing in so you don't worry about hitting the top of the roof line there, but once you're inside, it's pretty good room back here. I'm 5'10", and with a comfortable seating position for myself up front, I probably have, I'd say 3.5 inches of leg space, and maybe about the same in headspace. Overall comfort is also surprisingly good. I really like this optional leather upholstery. It feels high quality. I like the perforated detailing, so it looks nice, especially with the accent stitching. But there's a good amount of padding in the upper and lower cushions. There's pretty much no lateral support, but you wouldn't really expect that for this particular vehicle anyway. Your legs ride up a little bit high, but not too much. There's enough give in the cushion to kind of keep you seated in place there. There is a nice padded armrest across the middle, again wrapped in leather. There's no cup holders up here, but there are 2 that pop out in the bottom of the console there. The cool thing about the Frontier also, you can seat up to 5 people, and when you're sitting in the middle, you really don't lose any headroom. If you do, it maybe is only like half an inch or so, so not too bad at all. You can sit 3 full-size adults back here as well. I mean, you have a wealth of leg space. You're not going to fight for shoulder space that much, and the console doesn't come into the back very far, so it preserves a lot of leg space. There's a little bit of a drivetrain hump right here, but there's a cutout in the back of the console, so you can still sit your legs right in the middle here, stick your feet up under there, so it just makes it a little bit more of a practical vehicle overall if you're going to be hauling a bunch of people.
So as far as amenities, there's adjustable headrests for the outer portions here. This seat is actually 60-40 split, so you can fold it, you can pull the bottom cushion up, do allow for more cargo space and stuff, and I'll show that in just a second. There's one storage pocket back here on the back of the driver's seat. There's some mat pockets in the bottom of the panels with water bottle holders, grip handles up top, a coat hook on the other side, as well as some illumination in the top of the headliner. Another thing that's pretty nice is the sliding rear window back here. A lot of full-size trucks, and I can't remember if the Canyon and some of the newer mid-size trucks have it or not, but a lot of trucks are offering powered little windows back here, which this thing is so easy to use. I mean, it wouldn't need something like that. It would just complicate things. But yeah, it's a wonderful environment, very comfortable. Still, even though the interior quality and materials is not up to par of the newer trucks and stuff, it's still a nice package overall. It's very functional. It's what you would expect out of a truck. There's enough soft touch material where it matters the most, and it's very accommodating. All right, so let's hop back out and I'll show you how this folding seat works, which is pretty neat. Like, I mean, basically every other truck in this segment, at least in the Colorado and stuff, and you see this in a lot of full-size trucks now as well. This seat, you can grab a little black strap on the outer portion of the headrest right here, and it allows you to fold the backrest down. Now you can store some like larger items and stuff here if you'd like, if you didn't want to mess up the leather. So you have like some carpeting back here. It also gives you access to your jacking equipment if you have to change a tire. There's a full-size spare underneath the rear of the bed. But if you want to pull this back up, let's say you wanted to have more taller items in here. You can grab the handle on the outer portion of the bottom cushion and lift it straight up. It also locks in place so you don't have to worry about it coming down. Below here, obviously it opens up the floorboard. There's actually a bit of storage right here with a covered storage net, and Nissan also provides a first aid kit, which is a nice touch, especially when you're out in the wilderness like we are today. But to put it back down, you just grab the handle again and lower it, simple as that. So if you raise the driver's side portion of the rear seat and lock it in place, it also gives you access to the Rockford Fosgate subwoofer. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the 2016 Nissan Frontier Pro-4X. Be sure to stay tuned next time, there's always a lot more where that came from. Take care everybody.